DraftKings, yes indeed, DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook and app. Not only are they safe, but they are secure in Deke. Just like you, they are reliable, man.
Damn,
they're reliable,
thanks for the compliment.
Bro. And you know what else, Deke? Because we only talk about people that either have a promo code or some type of benefit for the people.
Yeah.
So for all the first-time people out there, once you download the app and you sign up, make sure you use that promo code MOATS. You'll receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonus money. Now, what does that mean? So when you first create that account and you want to put money into your account, if you put $500 in that account, they gonna hook you up with another $500 in deposit bonus money, baby.
Sounds like a great deal.
It's $1,000, and all you had to do was put in $500. Then after that, you get your bet on. You can't beat that, baby. You cannot beat that. So that is DraftKings, and obviously we will go in depth even more about some of our odds and some of our futures bets that we think that y'all might be a little bit interested in. And also, if you do have a problem in terms of a gambling problem, you know what you need to do, right?
Read that.
It's that simple, man. Read it. It's a lot. Gambling problem. 1-800-GAMBLER. It's that simple. All right. Let's start with Philly, though, man. Philly going across the Keystone State right here, man.
I think with a bunch of these teams, particularly the NFC East,
yeah,
you could talk yourself into any of them being halfway decent, just because.
Yeah, seriously.
The offense or what? Like you could look at the quarterback and say, "Oh, it's like Daniel Jones.
All have some.
Is he going to make the jump? Is Hurts going to take the jump?
Washington, is Fitzpatrick going to be hot long enough?
Yeah,
like Cowboys, is Dak Prescott back? Yeah,
you could do that with any of them. So with the Giants, or no, did you say Giants?
Philly.
You said Philly.
Yeah,
Jeez,
Philly. It's cool because well, not just that. I ain't want to call you out, but we were talking. We was playing in the show. I definitely kept saying NFC North.
You did?
I did.
I was feeling East.
Yeah, South. I was like, oh.
NFC North and South.
Yeah, it was supposed to be North and East.
North and East.
Yeah. But it's dope, though. I like South better anyways. The weather is better down there.
Oh, wow.
Think about it. The weather is way better. Yeah.
So I missed on the North and I did the South. Okay.
North. But the South is way cooler, bro.
Okay.
The South is way better. Who cares about the North? North can kick rocks, man. We know what the North is. It got your boy Kirk Cousins up there.
That works for me.
That's like your favorite quarterback, too, low key.
No.
You're a Kirk Cousins guy. Come on. You know you like Kirk. Captain Kirk, you like that?
I can't trust him.
Nobody can. But Philadelphia, man. So how we feeling about Philly? Positive. I'm not going Jalen Hurts as like my positive just because I haven't seen enough yet from him. But I do like a little bit more of the defense now. Obviously, they brought in Steven Nelson. He'll be opposite Darius Slay, And they still got the guys up front. I mean, Brandon Graham is still coming back. Fletcher Cox still out there. Javon Hargrave, another season out there. I do like that part of it. Now, health is going to be key because they've, the past 4 or 5 years now have dealt with injuries, especially in their secondary, and that's really cost them. But I do like those parts of their defense right there.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I like Devonta Smith, man. Yeah. I think he's going to be really good.
Now, is he back yet? Because I thought he was dealing with a little injury, right?
He was. I do think he's fully back. I think
that was my only thing with him, man.
I think he's going to play. They're saying he's a stud, man. For people to overlook him because of the weight. Yeah, Devonta Smith is all business, eyeing the opener.
Okay.
So I think he's ready to go. He's a positive. You're right. Do we say Hurts? He's kind of unproven still. He showed flashes last year, so I don't know if you.
But he also showed some.
I know
bad moments.
That's what I'm saying. He was a little inaccurate. His completion percentage was in the 50s, but what he brought as a running element was definitely a game changer. They were at least relevant those last couple weeks. They ended up beating the Saints. I like what he did in the preseason against us a little bit. He showed that poise.
Yeah.
As a full positive, that's tough. I really like Devonta Smith. I guess that's it.
They got your young receiver. Was it Quez Watkins, right?
Yeah, I guess we could throw him in there. They end up cutting Fulgham because they like Watkins so much. I guess that's the reasoning because now they have Rager, Devonta Smith, and Watkins. Yeah. Ward, I think Ward's still in there.
Yeah, because he was like,
no, you gotta you gotta give Watkins the chance there over Ward.
I like how Watkins looking. I mean, granted, it was on us, but my man, he ready to go. Looks like he's ready to go.
If I had to break it down, positive for them, it's just a new year, really.
Yeah,
because last year was the year for hell. Wentz looked terrible, and then how they finished with tanking essentially because. If they would have won that last game,
fire the coach. Yeah, it was.
If they would have won, I think they were winning, weren't they? When they pulled Hurts,
yeah,
they were at least in the mix against Washington. If you would have won that game,
I forgot
maybe you're feeling good about this season.
But they wouldn't have went to the playoffs though. It would have hurt them draft wise. I thought that was what it was.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't have went to the playoffs. Right. They would have went down to like the 9th or 10th pick.
Yeah. And then apparently, like, people didn't like that, but people always say he was supposed to tank, and he just happened to tank the right way, and people weren't ready for that.
I think that's the main thing for them. It's just a new season.
It worked for the Sixers. They trust the process. Why do you want to trust the process with the Eagles?
You could spin it in a way that, wow, this team's got some upside. They could come off and do pretty well because it's a weak division.
Yeah.
Hurts steps up. They got a nice receiving core. Miles Sanders is healthy. Like you said, the defensive line's good. And they brought in Steven Nelson. Their cornerbacks usually suck.
Right.
Their linebackers always suck, but that's just a given. Their defense is a little bit better than what it's usually, at least on paper right now heading into the season. So that's the positive. I can't really point to one thing.
Yeah.
If I had to, I'd just say Devonta Smith. I'm going to say he's going off.
Multiple positives, but I don't feel like any major positives, though. It's just kind of like...
all the positives you could spin as a negative in a way.
Yeah.
Somewhat. At least with like Jalen Hurts.
Even with Devonta, it's like, yo, you're...
maybe some of the inexperience on offense.
Inexperience, yeah. Like, there's plenty of ways, or who's going to get you the ball consistently as well.
And then with the defense, you could say, yeah, that's all well and good, but your linebackers suck, and if you get injured, you're kind of screwed. And you've never been like... at least since the Super Bowl, you haven't been like this bona fide defense. Correct. So what good's it going to do you right now?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
That's my thing. And then if you really want to go to negative, I bet you a lot of Eagles fans are saying the coach right now.
Yeah. I would either go coach. You might even throw in the GM. I ain't against either one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the GM was the one who had to okay the first move of, okay, we're going to get rid of you. The guy who actually won it.
I feel very similar about all these teams, but of the two, if I had to go tier, I would say Washington and Cowboys. I feel a little bit better than the Giants and Eagles, though.
Okay.
I feel very similar to all of them.
Okay. I probably do as well. Shoot, I definitely do as well. So, yeah. And I guess for me, my negative, if you're going coaching staff or GM,
maybe
I will probably go... I mean, still questions up front, health with that.
They're just older.
The tight end situation as well. Like, how are they gonna do the Ertz?
Goddard's always hurt.
Goddard, like,
he's a stud though,
right? He is, but he's always hurt. And then Ertz is obviously on the back end now,
and he's hurt too.
Yeah, he actually is. So that's another one for me. I'm just like, I don't know how that works out, but. That's the Eagles, though, man. That is the Eagles. Next up, man, let's go to New York. Or, excuse me, New Jersey. Yeah, y'all are not in New York. There's only one New York team. All right? But the New Jersey Giants, man, how you feeling about them, man?
Pretty much the same as the Eagles.
Yeah.
You could talk yourself into, Danny Dimes, could this be his year? The third-year jump? Like, this is where...
coming back?
Yeah, he should be healthy. Their line's kind of ass, though. Mm-hmm. But if you have Barkley for a full season... that at least helps because we've seen him like dominate his rookie season, like actually putting up monster numbers. Receivers aren't bad. Then bringing in Golladay like that, they obviously have Ingram, Slayton. They drafted Tony. Mm-hmm. You could talk yourself into it. Like their offense is going to be kind of nice.
We could talk ourselves into every team on this list right now.
Giants, their defense isn't amazing, but they got enough pieces where you're like, sometimes they're a little underrated. They overachieve. They just
brought in what's the cat? Oh my!
They brought the Titans dude in. Dory Jackson. Yeah, Bradbury was really solid for them last year. Their defensive line's pretty good.
Yeah,
like their secondary's not bad. They have Logan Ryan back there too. You could talk yourself into it. But at the end of the day, probably it's going to go all on Daniel Jones.
Yes.
If he could play good, they might be good. They might make the playoffs. Man, how much do you believe in Daniel Jones, though? He had... what's his turnover rate over these past two seasons? I mean, I think he led the league in fumbles both seasons.
But see, leading the league in fumbles as a quarterback, I don't always put that on him because sometimes like the strip sack element, like... I think of that as well.
Sure, he had some picks,
and his protection was not the best during that time.
No, definitely not. He has a lot of the tools.
Yeah.
I thought he looked good after his rookie year. I didn't think he was going to be that bad last year,
but was that because of Saquon?
I was going to say he didn't have as much help around him, so this is like a do or die year for him. I feel the same as the Eagles.
Yeah.
You could see them maybe borderline being 8-8, or not 8-8. I'm sorry, 9-8.
Yeah,
maybe like 8-9. Could they sneak in the playoffs just because of the division?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if any of these teams are 9-8 and they win the division at the end of the year, really. But I'm not surprised if the Giants go 4 and I can't stand this new 17 game thing. I can't get the math right.
It's giving you a
4
little time,
and 13. I wouldn't be surprised at that either. That's it.
Oh man,
positive. Barkley's back at the end of the day, right there.
No, him being back is huge, man. Definitely needed him. He's obviously their bell cow. He's their do-it-all running back. That's why they drafted him when they drafted him, and we were all for it because he's a super productive player. But for me, man, the things that I do like, obviously Daniel Jones, I do think he will be an improved version of himself, especially with Saquon being back out there. Offensively, they got pieces. Kenny Golladay, you talked about him. Evan Ingram, they got guys that can create some mismatches. Or when you start talking about, okay, how do you match it with this guy when he's out here as well? I like that. Still don't love their offensive line, but it's improved. I don't love it though. And that's kind of my thing. But with Daniel, still, the jury is still out with him. We don't know if he's ready to take that step and be a good quarterback. Are you Sam Bradford? Are you Baker Mayfield? Are you Josh Allen? Like, where do you fall right now? Because
I think he has more upside than Baker Bradford, right, for sure.
I feel like he does.
He's not on Allen's level of potential, though.
But, like, to me, I don't think that Daniel has bought into it the same way that Baker has. In terms, like, Baker...
I don't know if I blame him, but... I mean, think if Daniel Jones was with the Browns.
But see, you say that, and I'm not necessarily with it because he turned the ball over a lot. Baker doesn't turn the ball over like that. Baker, he's going to do his job. I don't know if it would have been a better situation for him.
Okay.
I think he's like, I agree in terms of the talent, but I don't think that he...
Just as him managing the game, being a leader of a team.
Everything that goes with that, I don't think he does it to the same level. Yeah, so that would probably honestly, that's probably my negative. More so now I look at this defense. Definitely got some negatives over there as well. Just in terms of, when we played them a year ago, they really haven't addressed it since then in terms of guys that can get after the quarterback. I think a year ago it was Marcus Golden we were talking about. We said with him was more how they would have to blitz him and scheme him a little bit to get, some pressure. But it's not a lot of guys that are winning one-on-ones up here with this list. So that would probably be my next thing, man. Just in terms of them being able to create pressure, I don't think they'll be able to do that enough.
I don't really see this as my negative, but I guess I could say it. Daniel Jones, it's just all on him. So if he's bad, that's the real negative. If he's good, they might be a playoff team.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking, especially with Barkley back, those weapons they have on offense.
NFC East too, bro.
And I do think their defense is going to be decent enough for that division. He's got to be good. If he's throwing for 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, like 10 picks, dude, no, they're gonna have a chance.
If he goes 30-10, bro, they will for a fact be in the action.
I don't think that's a reach of what he's capable of. It's just, is he gonna reach that potential this year?
It's a reach
for 4,000 yards, like 30 touchdowns.
The 30-10, like.
Oh, that ratio.
Yeah, the 30-10 is tough.
It wasn't bad his rookie year. He was like 24 and like 10 or 11. Yeah. And that was in like 12 or 13 games. That's why it sucked for him to take that step back that.
Oh, I just feel like that's a tie, though. 30-10. That's efficient. That's productive. That's clean. I don't think he's going to be like that just yet, man.
If he's not, that's the negative then.
Yeah.
It depends on how you feel about Daniel Jones. I'm on the fence.
Joe Judge could be the negative then. How the guys run? I don't know. He's inexperienced. He's young. We'll see.
I'm on the fence with Jones. He's the one quarterback I'm probably like so 50-50 on right now.
Okay. Yeah, see, I'm not as... I'm like in a weird place with Daniel. Slightly more confident in him than Sam Darnold, but still so confused in terms of what he is. Like, I just don't know if you're going to be like the three guys I named. Like, I see, okay, you got athletic ability like this guy. You can throw a little bit better than this guy. Okay, you can do this. But we haven't seen any of it just consistent enough just yet. He's an interesting person. Interesting.
He is.
Yeah.
Because after that rookie season, remember we were talking about him versus the rookie quarterbacks like Burrow and two of them coming out. It's like, why wouldn't you
take Daniel?
Yeah, if Daniel Jones was coming out in the same draft class, we would just take it because he actually proved his rookie season. He's got arm talent and that he could play. Like it's not too big for him.
Absolutely.
But then last year, you could talk yourself into that. It was a lot of the surroundings, though.
Yes, you could.
That's why this year 3 is really big for him. So I guess you could throw him my negative, but not really though, because I could see him being a real positive.
Facts.
It just hinges on him a lot. But the main positive is Barkley, in my opinion.
We're going to find out about him. We definitely are. All right, next up, man, Dallas Cowboys. They call that America's team. That's what they say. Or is that O'Donnell's team? Who knows? Go for it.
Obvious positive. Dak is back. But is he?
Is he? That's the real question. Is it the shoulder? Is it the leg is fine? Is it still shoulder? Throwing shoulder? No. Day to day. Huh.
Yeah, with him being back, that's a big deal because as bad as their defense may be, with the weapons around them on offense, their lines, top 10. It's a little bit aged, but it's always going to be up there. And then Zeke Elliott, I expect him to have a little bit of a resurgence. I don't know how you
do.
I do, yeah. This is the last year for him, though. Bro. This is the last year.
Last year was my last year.
Really?
Yeah, last year was my last year, man. I don't believe him. I had a chance to draft in my fantasy league as well. I was like, nah, I'm all the way.
But you took Harris. Who was the other running back you took?
Oh, goodness. Actually, because I'm thinking about Zach Moss right now. The other back. Oh, Sony Michel. That was the guy.
You took him in like the second round.
No, not Sony. I ain't take Sony that early.
Who'd you take in the second round?
Dude, I don't remember in the order.
You took a receiver.
I picked back to back.
You picked Diggs.
Yeah, I did Diggs. Because I was picking 12th and I turned on to pick 1. So I did Najee and then Diggs. Or it was Diggs and then Najee, but they were my first.
Elliott was still on the board then?
Yeah, he was.
No one wanted him. Wow.
Yeah. He was on the board. Kamara had went like right before then as well. Yeah.
Are you full PPR?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. That's weird. Kamara went that late.
Yeah.
I could see with Elliott just because he's not as valuable in PPR. He does get receptions.
But I was running it with Kamara because, number one, when you're thinking about what that situation might look like. Now, granted, it should be. I think they said Jameis. Yeah, Jameis did get the nod. You still just never know with how they love Taysom. Taysom at quarterback, I don't want anything to do with Kamara. I don't. Because I feel like that offense is going to be a disaster down there, man.
Dude, with Thomas being out, though, I think he's going to get a ton of run. Ton of touches. Are they quality touches,
That was supposed to be the case last year, though. Because remember, Thomas was hurt at the beginning of the season, too.
Oh, dude, Kamara was really good in fantasy.
But no, I remember because, that's the reason I lost last year, bro. He went for, was that the game?
7 touchdowns.
Yeah, bro. He killed me in the championship. I'll never forget it. But to me, I'm just like, I don't know if that's like, that typically doesn't happen like on multiple occasions like that. That's kind of what I'm alluding to. You'll have that one year where you do go crazy like that. But then after that, man, it can't just be that one guy. Like even Derrick Henry, they had AJ Brown come up out there, right? Tannehill started being able to throw the ball more. It wasn't the same approach of, oh, we all know that's the guy. Because D. Corden is not going to let that guy just continue to do that. In the past, even though you would want to kill him, you couldn't because, okay, Michael Thomas would take care of this. And when it wasn't that, they had the Thunder and Lightning, right? Him and was it Ingram down there? Mark Ingram. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah.
You talking about the Saints?
Yeah, the other running back.
Oh, yeah.
That was Mark. Mark was that running back.
Ingram and Kamara was a nice little combo.
Absolutely. It's too many Mark and Melvin Ingrams and Gordons right now. I'm like so scared.
That's a good point.
Bro,
Melvin Gordon and Melvin Ingram being on the same team was confusing as hell.
Heck yeah, man.
Okay, so hold on. We were talking about Elliott a little bit. Yeah.
Because you said that's one of your positives. You're confident in him or whatever, having a resurgence.
Yeah. Dak being back's the main positive, though.
Okay.
Their defense, them picking Parsons, that was nice.
I like that a lot.
Their secondary is going to limit them.
Core is filthy.
Yeah, the linebackers are pretty good.
Smith, Micah Parsons, and Leighton Vander Esch.
Their secondary kind of blows, though.
Yeah.
That's going to be the problem. But my point is, as bad as the defense could be, Dak being back could still win you some games, get you to like 9-8, 8-9 relevance in this division. Yeah. That's all you really need. But you saw what happens when he went out. They were out of the playoffs basically immediately. Yeah. They were around just because of how bad everyone else was. But they wouldn't have been relevant in any other division.
For me, Dak being back is definitely huge. I'm still kind of skeptical on Zeke. But I like the fact that the O-line is at least back together. Now, I think who's the one that just tested positive for Corona? He'll be out.
It's one of their guards.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. It's not. Was it Zach Martin? It might have been Martin.
I don't think it was him. No,
I don't remember which one it was, but one of the dudes did.
It was a dude with a lesser name. I don't really recall.
Definitely just tested positive, though. So that part obviously isn't the best. But as a whole, I do like the fact that a guy like Tyron Smith, he's back. He's healthy. Obviously, we talk about Lil Collins, back healthy. Those are significant because that is ultimately why Dak has been able to be as successful as he's been, because the protection, their ability to move people up front, run the ball, play action pass. Like that I love for them more than Dak being back, more than thinking of Zeke taking that next step. You got the O-line playing as well as they can potentially play. Now, we won't be to the same level because they're older now, but if they're in that ballpark, that makes them way tougher team because they got crazy weapons at receiver. They got crazy weapons, man.
You buying CeeDee Lamb leading the team in reception or not receptions, receiving yards?
Receiving yards? I mean, over Amari?
Yeah, I'm buying it. I think Cooper's capped. I think his max is like 1,200. I think Lamb could get like 13.
You do?
I do.
Well,
his over under is 1,000. I would take that.
I would take the over. I would definitely take the over. Oh, see, I just don't know because I feel like Amari has a better rapport right now with Dak, whereas with CD didn't get even a whole season with him because Dak got hurt.
It's a fair point.
So I think of like that part, kind of like when we talk about Juju and Claypool with Ben. Like, even though we know Claypool is nice, right? It's like, Ben is like Juju is Ben's guy. He always goes to him. Even if that guy might be open, this is the guy he's going to go to. When I think of Dak, that's how I think of Amari Cooper versus CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee is super talented, but right now I just think he has a comfort level with Amari right now, man.
Yeah, that's definitely fair.
Yeah.
That's definitely fair. I just don't think Amari's getting over like 11 or 1,200. I don't know if he's done it in his career, to be honest with you. I could look it up, but right off the top of my head, I don't think he has. CeeDee Lamb, I think he's got that like Justin Jefferson type upside. Like if Dak was playing the whole year last year, I think his numbers could have been different. He was on that type of pace.
Excuse me. No, I agree, man. And it was Zach Martin. They did just confirm it for us about him being out.
Oh, wow.
Man.
I was wrong.
And the chat's been spicy too, man. I wish we could do this whole thing, man. We'd be in here for another 4 hours though. Because they got a spicy debate going on about AB, if he was a Hall of Famer or not.
Easily.
And then some of these other kind, like it's been some stuff going on.
I got to see if I'm right on that Cooper take. Yeah. He's never been over 1,200 yards.
That's crazy, bro.
Only 1,100 yards throughout his career. And this is like healthy years too. Yeah. Wow. Not bad. Not bad memory bank.
CD goes over it this year? Goes over to 1,300 this year?
I'm just saying him versus Cooper.
Because I feel like Amari, he's going to be there. I think he's always going to be in that 1,000.
I do.
Like guaranteed he's going to have that.
If I had to bet, I'm saying CeeDee Lamb leads the team in receiving yards. Yeah.
Wow. I'll go to Amari.
Okay.
If I had to do it, I would go ahead.
All
right. Knock on them. I mean, I like DeMarcus Lawrence as a rusher, but I still don't feel like they have enough to really get after the passer. I know they have brought back.
And their cornerbacks are bad. That's not a good combo.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good combo. Now, Randy Gregory, he's flashed at times, needs to be more consistent. To me, the cornerback situation with this not being able to just naturally, organically create pressure, to me, it's a recipe for disaster defensively. That's going to put you in bonds where you're forced to expose yourself by sending more people. And when you don't have guys on the back end that can't cover, really bad. Absolutely, man. When you don't have guys that can cover, that puts you in a bad way, man, with what you want to do. So that would definitely be my knock on them, man.
I'm with you. Same thing. Defense is going to hold them back. From, like, if they had a decent defense, they
can make it interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could definitely make it interesting.
They'd be like 12 and 5 or something like that. 11 and 6. Seriously, they had a decent defense. Maybe if they pick Surtain, maybe he could have been a difference maker like that where you give him an extra win. But no, since they don't have him, they took Parsons. Their linebacking core is nice, but combo with the edge rushers in the secondary is the main thing for me.
Yeah, for me, I'm just looking to the front like, yo, you got to create way more pressure than that, and I'm not seeing it right now, man.
Last team.
All right, last team is what? Our nation's capital, huh?
Yeah.
The football team from Washington. You know the benefit, man. They got Ryan Fitzpatrick, baby. It's that simple, baby. As long as you got Fitzpatrick, that's all you need, man. Fitzmagic in the building. My OG quarterback. Yeah.
It's half a joke, but seriously, their quarterback situation was god awful.
Yeah. Like bad, bro.
Haskins on Washington is different than how we feel about Haskins QB3 for Steelers right now. Haskins is Washington starter.
Night and day.
First 4 games, and I think he finished out like the last game or two with them too. And then they go to Allen, then they go to Smith for a little bit, back to Allen. Heineke to finish with the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, that was their situation last year. Now you have Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was leading the Dolphins, it looked like, to a decent record.
If they would have rocked with him, he would have been straight. But they wanted to go the tour route.
Like, some of his stats you could look at. There were games, like the Jaguars game. There's a game or two where it felt like he threw them out of the game, but there were stats that show this was one of his better seasons of his career. You add him to a Washington offense, it goes back to like the Giants and The Eagles, you could talk yourself into some of their weapons, and rightfully so. Gibson, they brought in. Wasn't it Curtis Samuel? They brought in Curtis Samuel too.
I say Curtis Samuel's there now. Let's see who else they have. Adam Humphries has been there, but yeah, Scary Terry. Come on now, you can't forget Logan Scary Thomas. Terry. Dude, they low-key brought some pieces in, man. They got some people. Like you said, you could. I like the running back though, Gibson. Now he's the one, man, because he was the guy that was supposed to give us some issues, but he ended up getting hurt in that game, man. But no, I like his game, man. He's a good dude.
That was actually a disaster for us because he got hurt, and then was it Spillane got hurt, and then McKissick just was doing these little routes all over us.
Yeah.
That's seriously their positive. Whenever you compare the teams from this year to last year, Fitzpatrick being there. Obviously the defense, but
yeah, because their defense is stacked, bro. They got guys. Definitely got guys. And they can get after the quarterback too.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, their linebackers are pretty good. Bostic's found a role. Is Jamin Davis gonna be good? They're high on him, kind of.
They are. Well, because you got to think he's still going to be way more athletic and more just a faster player than Bostic. Bostic, he plays. Yeah.
It looks like from the depth chart I looked at, Davis is going to start in the middle. Bostic's going to be left inside or right inside or whatever because they run the 4-3.
Correct. Yeah. So they'll both be interior guys, but think of it like he'll play the role of Devin, if it was Devin and Vince, Jamin is going to be Devin, whereas Bostic will be Vince.
Yeah.
Keeping him in the box a lot more. But no, for Washington, you would be excited because there's nothing that Bostic going to be able to do athletically that is going to be even close to what Davis can do. Even though we were getting on Davis because we said we don't feel like he played as fast as he timed, he still played and looked a lot more athletic, and space than my man Bostic did at times.
The funniest thing about Davis was when we were doing those mock drafts.
He killed us, bro.
He got hyped to the first round really quick after that 40, but the mock draft still had him as a third round prospect. Yeah. So I was able to get him in the third and fourth round, and my mock drafts look stacked.
Oh man!
No, I like Washington the best out of anyone in the NFC East because of their defense, because of them getting Fitzpatrick in,
and I like the coach. Riverboat Ron, man. I think they are probably the most complete NFC East team. They still obviously have questions, but I do like them the most, man. So
there was a receiver I knew they picked up in the draft, Diami Brown. I was high on him.
Okay. I
don't know how much time he's going to be getting because they do have some pretty decent receiver depth. But if he gets in there, he could be a difference maker. They just have good receivers, and you combine it with Logan Thomas at tight end. Fitzpatrick can be.
Logan was the one who came in and gave us issues as well, man. Yeah.
If he could be Jets Fitzpatrick this year.
Jets Fitzpatrick got us into the playoffs.
Huh?
Jets Fitzpatrick got us into the playoffs.
Yeah, because he throw those picks, right?
Dang, already did. Shout out. I'll never forget it.
I was watching that game over our game.
Bro, I was in our game watching that game, bro.
Because that one meant more than our game. Absolutely, I had that one in the background. I had the Jets-Bills game up on my laptop, right on
out
it.
There, man, you make a tackle. I don't care about this tackle, bro. What that score talking about right now, man? Yeah. So
their defense is top 5, top 6.
No, they combine people, man.
Their offense, if you think they're going to do better this year with a little more continuity, I like them. The X factor for me is Dak, because I think Dak could,
if Dak returns to form,
throw the Cowboys over a team like Washington.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's never, I don't know, dude. He's led them to the playoffs, but he still hasn't had that moment yet. He just hasn't had that moment. So do you trust it all the way? I can't trust any of these teams, really.
I don't.
Based off quarterbacks,
I don't trust none of them.
But Washington has a top 5 defense. That's the one thing you could hang your hat on at least. Yeah. So I'll do that. I'm gonna say they're 1.
All right. So before we do our full ranking 1 through 4 real quick, let's go UW. Came back through and said Fitzpatrick is gonna have one of his magical seasons
I do think he'll be pretty good.
He says just to turn into a pumpkin for the playoffs. You know how he does. He will start off me stupid hot, but around October, November, definitely in December.
Has he even made the playoffs?
I don't think he
has. He was really close with that Jets team.
Never in Jets.
Him and Brandon Marshall, God.
Yeah, because if he would have won that game, they would have made it. Yeah.
Buffalo, they were on pace.
Yeah.
They were on pace.
Miami didn't happen. Tampa didn't happen. Yeah.
He's been in Cincy. He's been with Houston. Maybe Houston. I don't think he was the quarterback there. I think that was too long ago.
He came and had a game or two because he was in Houston before he got to Buffalo. And I remember when I got to Buffalo, me and my little cousin, he's a big football dude, big football head. But we always referred to Fitzpatrick as the Harvard guy. Because that's when they talked about him coming to the games. Oh, this guy's from Harvard. Oh, he's calculating the angle and the trajectory and the flight
He's like
speed.
a gunslinger. He ain't anything like that on the football field.
No, this is my teammate for a couple years, man. You would never know he went to Harvard unless he told you he went to Harvard. Like, he is the most down to earth. Like, you think of Harvard people and you're like, yeah, they're gonna speak just so educated. I'm not even gonna want to have a conversation. I can't understand them. No, man, Fitzy, man. It's like we're just talking right here. Like, that's how he communicates, man. But he's funny as heck, dude. Fitzy got he get a little jokester right there, man. But I did have a poll running throughout this conversation. Yeah. And it looks like the final results are pretty much in terms of who will win the NFC East. Washington football team coming in at 55%. Now, this was pretty much closer. This was probably the second closest we've had in terms of the disparity. The Cowboys are at 24% to win the division. Then you got the New York Giants coming in at 13% and Philadelphia at 8%. So everybody had a vote, at least, that they thought they would win it, which is, like I said, interesting because we've seen
we were talking about
like someone have zero opportunity. But yeah, I think, man,
that's why I think
NFC West.
I wouldn't be surprised if any of these teams win at the end of the day. But if I'm betting right now, I'm with the chat. I'm thinking Washington.
I am too, man. I like it. Shout out to Washington then for that, man. The football team.